For the love of everything that's good, I've already voted. Stop sending me these damn ads. Clap it. What more do you want from me? I did my civic duty. I'm begging you, please stop sending me ads. It's literally driving me insane because there's still 2 more weeks of this nonsense I got to go through. 2 more whole weeks. And it got me thinking. Oh, by the way, how you doing? My name's Hero. This is Coding with Strangers. And I want to complain about some stuff. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow. Appreciate y'all. I've been sitting here thinking to myself as a person, because we're not a political channel, regardless of what my shirt says. We're not a political channel, okay? And I was sitting here thinking to myself, if there's one thing we can all agree on, is that by now, if you don't know who you're voting for, you probably have a difficult time, putting on your shoes the correct way, tying them. You probably need assistance, and that's okay. There are people who need assistance in this world, but you're not someone I'm concerned about. For the rest of us who have already made up our minds, whether it was the blue tie or the red tie, we can all agree that the inundation and influx of ads is literally making everybody dry. I was having a moment with a beautiful woman and a campaign ad about abortion came up on the screen, and I was just like, well, now she don't want me touching her lap anymore. I can't touch her leg. You feel me? Like, what? It's ruining everything. It's ruining everything. So I said to myself, Hero, you work and live in tech. You should be able to figure out how to stop this from happening to you. There should be ways of you being able to stop this from happening to you. And I was like, there is a way. So we're going to look at a collective gang of articles, some laws, and some features on your own phone or desktop or email that could help you alleviate some of these issues. Keep in mind, this thought came to me while I was driving home. So this won't probably work for like radio stations and stuff like that. But who listens to the radio anymore? How old are you? 60? Yeah, probably because you're voting. So it makes sense. It's your right demographic block. But it's just not the ads. In the next 2 weeks, you're going to hear more political talk from non-political people. And I'll just say this. People who aren't adept or abreast with talking about political stuff, they can talk minor things like single issue voters. You guys are boring and probably the worst bane of my existence. But for detailed conversations such as geopolitical analysis or social economic standards, the runoffs between different generations and how that equity will transfer between 2 different parallels of 2 equally suffering demographics, that being boomers and millennials currently, with Zoomers not even caring about the future because they don't think one will exist. Well, that you'll probably have to find another place to go, like maybe the identity booth. But for today, we're going to talk about how to get rid of all those conversations so you can get back to what you really want to do. Watch cat videos on YouTube. Clap it. Bring back the good days. Bring back the good old days. Influencers get their final marching orders for the election. Yeah, that doesn't sound depressing. In Monday's Zoom call, the Harris campaign laid out a message and specified calls to action for they are looking to have amplified for the next 2 weeks around 270 creators. You want to know something strange? The DNC was in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. They didn't invite me. That's because you guys aren't liking, sharing, and following. The campaign staffers encouraged the creators to share links to iwillvote.com and a variety of graphics and campaign-made TikTok audios to their audience.
Hey bro, I think I'm gonna head on in for the night. I'm kind of tired.
No problem. Get some rest.
Hey, didn't you work today?
12-hour shift.
And you went to the gym?
PR to 700 deadlift.
And you still got energy to do all this work? Where does the energy come from, bro?
I'm at my best when I have my zest, baby.
Zest?
The Zest Super Berry Samba Green Tea comes packed packed with 135 milligrams of caffeine and L-theanine. That's how I stay focused for longer and stronger throughout the day with no crash. It's way better than coffee or any of those sugar-filled energy drinks out there. No GMO, gluten-free, and it won't stain your teeth.
Oh yeah, that sounds real good. Is this one right?
Yes, sir, that's the one. But my brother in Zest, I'm gonna need you to get your own Super Berry Samba green tea.
Selfish.
You mad, bro? Don't worry, I got you. Use my promotional code down below to get 20% off selected items and the subscriptions. That's Coding with Strangers, all one word. Put that in the checkout box and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much to Zest for the sponsorship. There's a push that comes from, this is speaking about the Democratic side, but we know that Trump has been on a plethora of podcasts and he's still doing his tours and feats and all of those good things. But your influencers will be talking about this in no short time. So we heard of Pokimane talking with Bernie Sanders, Pokimane talking with Mark Cuban, Bernie Sanders talking to a VTuber that I didn't even know, Kai Cenat showing up at the NBA when the NBA is having their push the vote night. Kai Cenat notoriously doesn't like to involve himself with politics, but you know, he's going to do his own thing. All this being said, be on the lookout for that for the next 2 weeks. But then I started to think to myself, how can we stop the influx of campaign flyers to our mailbox? Is there any way we could stop this? Election season is upon us, and once again, with that plethora of campaign yard signs, TV ads, political text messages, flyers, varying sizes stuffed into your mailbox, you can overlook the yard place cards, mute the commercials, and stop the text messages, at least most of them. But what do you do about the handful of campaign mailer filling your mailbox? It is no far-fetched question, considering you can stop other forms of junk mail. This is true. You know, you can stop other forms of junk mail. I already do it. I tell them I don't want nothing from no grocery store. Like, I just be like, I'm trying to say, and whenever they ask my, what is your, I'm trying to save the planet. Stop sending me bullshit. Do I look like I've missed a meal? Do I look like I've missed a meal? I don't need your coupons. Thank you. Appreciate the hard work. The Federal Trade Commission says you can decide what type of you would like to receive, and marketers by registering with a direct marketing associate to organize, warn. However, it does not apply with some mail as such as political organizations. The U.S. Postal Service has no guidance either. I did, however, recently report that the volume of political mail increased from 2018 to 2022 midterm. That was during a midterm election, from 2.9 billion pieces to 3.9. So over 1 billion additional pieces of mail are being sent out during political season. Over the course of a political cycle, mail spending rose from 575 million to 826 million over the same time period. The USPS predicts the current election cycle will be even bigger. The truth is, regardless of how digital focused society becomes, political mail workers exponentially will be in the rise of awareness for candidates, persuading the public policy issues and motivating voters to vote, and do so with high credibility. The thing about this is, I feel like the easiest way to say make this go away is just say that this is taking a toll on the mailers' bodies. Because if you knew during election season that you were going to be carrying, I'm gonna just let me just say an obscure number, because all of these numbers are just massive and obscure in more than one way. If you told me I was going to be carrying a metric ton more of mail over the course of 4 years because of election cycles, I'd be like, no, we got to figure out how to stop this. We have to be able to figure out, and the fact that we can stop advertisement from our local grocery stores, the brick and mortars. We can stop it from social issues or social gathering issues. We can stop all of that. But the fact that they told us, no, we haven't figured out how to do the campaign one. We haven't figured that out yet. Campaigns may not want to give up sending flyers across the voters. 57% said that they felt direct mail was harder to ignore. So, and this is another reason why we don't take surveys, people, because then they use your words against you. Someone knocks on your door and says, I want to do a survey. You tell them to go fuck themselves, okay? Listen to me. That happened to me on Saturday. Someone knocked on my door, said, wanted to see how your voting plan was coming along. Hey, go fuck yourself. No, I'm just playing. If you're genuinely interested in how to vote. But you know what? By the time they were trying to talk to me on Saturday, I had already voted. I was taking a nap. It's a Saturday. It's a sweet spot. It's when all the games are over at 12 o'clock, but right before the 3 o'clock games start, everyone's being blown out. It's that sweet spot where you get to take a 1 hour nap. Second half. Woke me up. Ruined the rest of my day. I was supposed to watch Penguin episode 4. 68 said they felt less overwhelmed by direct mail. You want to know why? Because you choose when to go to your mailbox. And you also expect to see junk in your mail. And no one goes to the mailbox excited anymore. It's crazy that the only time I get excited about mail is when it comes from an Amazon driver. Only thing I get in the mail is bills and junk mail. Name something else. Oh, you got a card from grandma? Open it up. There's no money in it. Grandma, you could have sent a text. Like all my best friends. Graham, put the money in the bag. Okay, but this is just flyers, right? What about the annoying political text messages? Now, this one right here is a novice mistake. You know, you went to you registered for something, you registered to vote, and you put your real cell phone number. You put your real cell phone number on your registration ballot. That's just a rookie mistake. Let me just put it to you quite plainly. You need to have 3 types of emails and 3 types of contacts. First one is a junk email, like, win this car. Or like they say, they're giving away free t-shirts, but you got to put your email and your phone number down. So you literally just call it junk. And there's a feature in Google where, like, if you put your email address plus something, I'll snap and there'll be an example of it. At Gmail, it'll create a whole new folder in your Gmail, and all of the mail that you use with that email will go there. Use that feature or just create a new one. It's free. A fake phone number. Go to WhatsApp. You can spoof your number. Another one, work email. This is the email you use to go find jobs. It's completely blank. There's no social media attached to it. There's nothing on the internet that can associate you, because usually when employers do background checks on you, they use your email and your phone number to dictate what you've been signed up to. And you best believe, if you're signed into some inappropriate websites, they can see that. And if they're cunning enough, those companies can also buy metadata on how often people using said information go to these websites. So if they can find out basically if you're using company time to find a new job, you got to be able to maneuver these situations. Companies are getting more advanced. And then the last one, which is my personal favorite one, is your actual stuff. Right? The number that people should have that actually want to get in contact with you. But getting these tech messages and being inundated with it is far-fetched issue, no longer issue right now. Most of the time, you can literally set up in your phone settings, you can go to your spam folder and set up limits on who can even contact you. You could set it up so that people only from your contact list can send you messages, or their messages are delivered as alerts. But the more important thing is who's allowed to text you. Mass texting campaigns are legal if the sender uses official text messaging organizations. These organizations verify sender is legit and complies with all opt-in and opt-out rules. So you need to figure out, first and foremost, in your area, because it should only be coming from your local from within a certain space or space and area, you need to find out who the local vendor is for your information. Who's the information broker for this information, and then go there and opt out there. If you opt out there, you can then figure out every place they've sent your information to. But if they've sold your information to 300 people, they're not going to contact them for you. You have to do that. And that's way too hard. So the other way to do it is just to block the signal from coming to your phone. There are versions of this called scam painting, where they just basically steal information and just try and see if you're verified. So if you've ever gotten a text message like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a long time, it's from a random number you've never seen and you've never texted before, you're not some cool lucky guy. They're trying to see if the number is active. Don't fall for it. Who's really texting and calling you? Actually, I haven't seen you in a long time. Who's doing that? Maybe you got the juice. I don't know. But the easier way to do this, for smartphones to stop from being stay smart and stop them from bugging you. Your obvious first step is to text back the word stop. I think that's a pretty sufficient one. But if you don't remember opting into a message, don't respond. This is also very true. Doing so tells the sender, likely a scammer, you're a real person, which could lead to even more texts. Instead, report it to your cell provider by forwarding the text to 7726 spam. That's what you really need to be doing. Because once you put this really helps the squad. It helps the team, because it then tells your provider that this number in particular, or this person who's using whatever spoofing technology, is causing issue, and they'll conjugate and help make that. And later on, if they want to press charges, they have a way of tracking it. You can report and delete. This will create a separate subfolder for your IP address, for your phone's mobile address. That'll also block it. I know that for iPhones. I'm pretty sure Android has it, since Android gets everything before iPhones at least 3 years in advance. But the 7726 is what you really want to be doing to help the people. Forward the number and the message, if possible, to that place. But with all that being said, your cell phone, your mailbox, even in real life, they can bother you. Some of y'all, before you watch this video, probably got an ad. And I'm sorry for that. But it is still also something you can control. Despite the fact that Google says, well, this was a scoop. I wanted to make sure that this was true. I wanted to make sure this is true, but it looks like it just came fresh off the press, and it was approved back in, no, it was approved on the 17th. Okay, cool. They verified it on the 17th. A scoop that says Google will block all elections after polls close November 5th, which, clap it up. It's a diabolical company, but when they do something right, we got to give them praise. We got to give them praise. But also, you could go into your own Google AdSense or your own Google settings. So whatever you use to create your search algorithm, so whatever your email address you're using on YouTube, you can go into your personalized settings and turn off political ads, and that will stop all political ads for you. But a lot of times, action plans and political plans they file incorrectly, to be quite honest. They file incorrectly, and that's how you run into situations where kids start seeing political ads, and that doesn't always pan out the way it's supposed to be. And it is diabolical in a sense, because you would think to yourself, damn, how do I avoid this? Well, the one surefire way to avoid this is disclosing that you are under the age of 18, which means you're not in a voting block. So at that point, then they won't point to you because they don't need anything from you. But then it would probably restrict your ability to, search, TD Biggies on the internet. Who wants to ruin that for themselves just because of a bunch of political ads? There's too many steps is what I'm implying. But the fact that Google has made a conscious effort to ignore the money, just to give their viewers the peace of mind of getting off of this ad apocalypse hell is admirable. But all that being said, in 2 weeks, some of the biggest corporations are going to stop taking in money for political ads, and this will all go away and slow down. So in other words, we have this information and we can bookmark this video for the future. I'm gonna put all these articles and all these methods on how to do it in the comment section below, in the description below. But how do you avoid the election blues? Are you even consciously aware that the election is going on? Have you been sleeping on the rock? I remember this story about the guy back in 2016 who had found a way of not hearing about who won the election for 2 weeks, and he wore a sign. I'll snap. That's him. How did he do this in 2016? There was too much internet. People were too nice to let this man live the life of peace and pleasure that he had at that moment. No one deserves to be this ignorant. You shouldn't be that ignorant. And like I said, we're not a political channel. We're a tech channel. No matter who you're deciding to vote for, I like to believe that we all deserve peace of mind, no matter what, because we need to get back to the cat videos, okay? So like, share, subscribe. Have you voted yet? Are you an early bird? Are you going to be sitting in a line somewhere? Let me know in the comment section below.